I'm Scott Shearer, and I'll be presenting two post-conference workshops at SharePoint Fest Denver on Friday, June 2nd, and I'd like to tell you a little bit about them. Two sessions I'll be presenting are WS 503, that'll be in the morning, and it's the Site Collection Administrator Bootcamp. In the afternoon, I'll be presenting WS 601, which is SharePoint Designer 2013 Workflow Bootcamp. A little bit about me. I'm a Microsoft Certified Trainer, or MCT. I'm also a Microsoft Office 2016 Specialist Master, and I work for a company called Haystacks Technology in Tysons Corner, Virginia. And I usually use the term SharePoint Evangelist to describe what I do, although I do consulting regarding SharePoint on a daily basis. As you can see, I started out life in the financial industry. However, I've been doing IT work for well over 20 years. Let's talk about the first session, WS 503 Site Collection Administrator Bootcamp. This session is designed for the new SCA, or Site Collection Administrator, or site owner, someone who's just been given the job of managing a site or site collection and needs to know what to do. So we're going to start off with some non-technical concepts such as user adoption. You can have a great site, but if your users don't use it, it really doesn't matter. So we're going to talk about ways to encourage your users to start and keep using SharePoint. We'll talk about governance concepts, not in detail, but we're going to talk about why you need governance and some basic governance concepts. Then we're going to move into the more technical areas, such as SharePoint Security. I will show you how to keep your site manageable from a security perspective. I've seen many sites where individuals simply couldn't figure out who had access to what and where because they had security configured in a very complex way. I'll show you how to keep security simple in your SharePoint site collection, and as a result, make it easy to maintain. We'll move into talking about maintenance on lists and libraries. We're going to go behind the scenes, show you how to configure lists and libraries, show you some features you may not be aware of, some things you may not have seen before, show you really the best way to have things configured. Then we're going to move to one of my favorite topics, which is content types. We're first going to talk about out-of-the-box content types and then custom content types. Essentially, I'll show you why you want to use custom content types if you intend to reuse the work you've done. Much better idea than simply doing creating a template from a list and reusing that. We'll be talking about how you can hook workflows into custom content types, for example, and have that workflow run anywhere where your custom content type is running, anywhere within your site collection. We'll move on from there and talk about the out-of-the-box SharePoint workflows. I'm surprised many times to see how few people have really used the out-of-the-box SharePoint workflows. There's gold there. There's a lot of built-in functionality that just comes with the product. I'll show you how to activate those workflows and what they do. We will then move into SharePoint Designer workflows, and I'll show you the basics of creating SharePoint Designer workflows. Time permitting, we'll go on to some more advanced topics as well. In the afternoon, I will be presenting, as I said, WS 601, SharePoint Designer 2013 Workflow Bootcamp. We are going to start from the ground up. I will assume that you've never created a SharePoint Designer workflow before. And we are going to start at the beginning. We're going to talk about the different types of workflows, types of designer workflows, and show you what you can do with a designer workflow. For example, sending email is a very common thing. I'll show you how you can update another list. We'll talk about things like impersonation steps, which allow a user to update an item in a list to which they do not have permissions. We'll talk about things like using workflows to break inheritance on a row of data or on a document. We will talk about stages, steps, conditions, and actions, the building blocks of all workflows, and this is all going to be done through demos. We will be in PowerPoint a little bit, but for the most part, what you can expect in this session are demos, demos, demos. Now, as many of you know, SharePoint Designer workflows are eventually going away, but they're going to be around for many, many years. They will be succeeded by something called Flow. Time permitting, I will show you what Flow is and how to create flows and what all the hubbub is about as it relates to Flow. If you have questions before the conference or even during the conference, want to know if I'm going to cover a certain topic, please reach out to me. You see my email address, shearer@haystacks.com. If you want, please follow me on Twitter, and I hope to see you in Denver.